count you in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Well, they heard you count from 5 anyway. Hello, this is Band of Badgers. This crazy crew is back again for another isolation adventure into, well, not exactly into hell, but more hell is coming to the Sword Coast with Avernus Rising. Hello, everyone. How is everyone? Is everyone okay?
Yep.
How about you? Yes, how about you? How about you? How about you? How about you?
We're living in hell.
Yeah, literally. If in-world, out-world. But anyway, so during our isolation, as we can't play in person in our little table groups, we've set up some online games. So we mix up the teams, doing little bits and pieces. You may or you may not know Band of Badgers is a real life tabletop role-playing game club. We've got about 50 members now, all based in West Sussex in the UK. And we used to meet up regularly. Now we're in isolation. We can't do that as much. So we're trying to do some new things to make sure we still get that little touch of D&D, of role-playing, and especially escapism, because it's all good for the noggins. So, welcome to Band of Badgers. This is Avernus Rising. Welcome to my players. If you saw the last cliffhanger ending of the previous episode, we're going to be dropping straight into that. But first, as always, a quick word about our sponsors. And we have Ed's Gaming Emporium. Ed's done a fantastic bits and pieces for us over the past couple of weeks, a few months, whatever it is. But you can get a 10% discount for just by using the code word BOB10. Bob10 will get you 10% off of anything you want. And he does a whole range of board games, miniatures, Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, especially Pathfinder. That's coming again soon. Then we have Dan over at Free D&D. Now, Free D&D are a UK-based 3D printers. If you've got a mini, I haven't got any to hand. If you've got a mini, you want printed.
Mike, don't.
Yeah, put it back. If you've got a mini you want printed, he can do it for you, and that's pretty much it. So check out Free D&D. He's got a whole range of different 3D artists involved. And if you sign up for the Patreon subscription, you can pick 3 or 4 different minis from different things like goodies and baddies and all kinds of things and big ones. And those weirdo dice heads, which are kind of crazy cool. He will print them and you can just get them in a post a few days later. It's a pretty good service. So check that out. Also, we have, as you may have seen, every now and then we do a free giveaway from the Eldritch Foundry. Now, what we do, you don't get this one, as I always keep saying, this one is mine. What you do is you'll get a 10, is it a 10? No, it's a free gift voucher for a free mini. So you go onto their website, eldritchfoundry.com, you custom design your own miniature, and then you get it for free. They will print it for you for free. You get a free voucher in the online checkout. You do have to pay postage, and they are international. So for UK postage, you're talking about £5, which is not bad for a $10 or $15 doobie what's it. Okay, nice and easy. And also, you can check out this trailer.
Do we have to...
...3D printing machine.
Your 3D printing machine, you can do it, yeah. So that is Eldritch Foundry. Now, we're not going to keep you waiting this time. We're just going to pick a winner right now. I've got a list of names in front of me.
No,
no, it's not
suspense.
you. You didn't even enter it, so it's not going to be you, is it?
Again.
Yeah, you didn't even enter it. So what I've done is we got less than 100 entries, which is okay. We only got a small amount, but it's okay. I think we've got 20 or 30 in total coming in from all different things, Facebook, Twitterizing, and all kinds of stuff. But basically, you got more entrants than what you wanted it. And then just to top it up, I threw everyone in until we got to 100. So who should we do? Paul, if you would like to roll percentage dice, please. And you can pick the winner.
Righto.
And I'm going to have a little drinky poo.
Okay. The number is number 21. 21.
21?
My age.
Your age?
All our age.
Half your age?
If only.
Is there a bingo? What's the bingo calling for 21?
It's key in the door.
Key in the door, number 21. Just rolls off the tongue. Actually, yeah, there we go. The winner is Mr. Duffy. Joe Duffy, who's actually in the game tomorrow in our Friday game, Road to Baldurs Gate. Joe, you've won a mini. All you got to do is spend a £5 for the postage. And also, the Eldritch Foundry minis, they generally print it in grey or black. I can open this one. In sort of grey or black. There's a wolf for you. And they're quite detailed, very, 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 very detailed, which are really nice to do. So they're excellent for painting, but they come in this really nice tin, which is great because then you can put a few minis in there, you can put your dice in there, and it's really nice, and it's branded Eldritch Foundry. So there we go. Now, all that is out the way, and we can start the game. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay.
I am indeed.
Right. So Paul is back. We had not Paul last week as our stand-in, so this week Paul is back.
Or as Lauren calls him, not Paul.
Not Paul. Yeah. So at the end of last session, what happened was you were all kind of awoken. It was the last few hours in the morning, just before sunrise. So we're talking sort of 3 a.m., 4 a.m., somewhere in the middle around there. Everyone in the caravan is abruptly woken by blood-curdling screams. Looking around, you notice several refugees gathered around Billiam's tent. Pushing one another aside for better view, gasps, cries, and curses clearly indicate that something horrible has happened. What would you like to do?
Am I right in thinking that Ken just kicked me? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, I've gently woken you up.
With your foot?
With a
Yes.
foot.
Across my face.
We were on guard, were we, me and Calamity?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they go push. Cal, what's going on? What's going on? Wait, why is everybody screaming?
There's something by Billiam's tent, I think. We better go over there.
I'll make my way over, try and push my way to the front, or failing that, find Neville and get him to push his way to the front.
So Neville got there kind of first, but as everyone kind of comes into the crowd, you push your way to the front, and yes, you do see a body in front of Billiam's tent and his little campfire, and the body, his shirt has been torn. There's lots of blood, lots of gashes all over his chest. And behind you, you see, you notice that Dara is is coming over as well, and she starts to push through the crowd. Everyone's taller than she is, and she starts to push through the crowd, and then she gets to the front, and her hands go up to her face, and she hasn't seen that kind of scene before, someone her age. And then Gorin is there, as he always is, quite quickly steps up behind him, one arm around her body, one arm to cover her eyes, and he shields her and kind of puts his body in the way. Vasha hurries over and starts to almost take control of the scene. She's now kind of shushing people away, getting them to go back. Everyone's kind of a bit gawping and doesn't know what to do or how to act. So you see Vasha kind of pushing people away, give them some space.
Cal, is he dead? Are you able to sell?
Can I inspect the body and look at the wound to see if we can ascertain how he was killed?
You can.
If someone would like to give me assistance with that.
Yep. What would you like to do? Would you
Yeah,
like to
I
do
don't
a
mind.
medicine check or just
Yes,
investigation?
A
I'll
medicine
do a
check.
medicine check as well.
Okay.
But could I also, when there's a moment, just verify the response that she'd never seen anything like this before?
So let's
Okay,
deal with the body first.
Yeah.
So Kin and Neville and Calamity, you all kind of gather around the body. Calamity, you're assisting Neville in examining the body. He's certainly dead. He's not breathing. That's the obvious bit.
So natural 20.
Lots of blood. Natural 20. There you go. Lots of blood.
That's probably my first and last.
And as you start, you're both kind of sitting at each side of the body. You know, sitting on your knees, being very careful around the scene. You peel back the shirt, and with your natural 20, you see the stab wounds are quite deep. They're gashes, but they seem to make some kind of symbol on his chest. It's not a series of stab wounds. It's some kind of circular symbol with lines through it.
Oh.
Try and take a drawing of that symbol.
Does it look familiar? Is it the similar sort of symbol that we saw in the basement of the old monastery,
Temple.
where the thing burst out of the guy's chest?
That's what I was thinking.
No, it's not the same symbol.
Ooh.
And it's not something bursting out of his chest. It is definitely
It looks,
knife going in.
yeah. So if you the last time you saw something like this was in that basement. It was a symbol on his chest, and then something came out, but you had interrupted the summons, if you like. You'd interrupted that magic. This is what appears to be a finished symbol. It's not one that you recognize, but it is a different symbol to the first one you saw.
But nothing's come out of the chest, as far as we can tell.
No.
I'd like to cast Detect Magic, please, and then do an inspection of the symbol, maybe with Arcana.
Okay. So you cast Detect Magic. Instantly, you can feel, see or feel, the whereabouts of all the magic items in that vicinity. I think it's a 60-foot radius.
Nat 20.
Okay. So you instantly pelted. They just ping and light up like radar items. But his chest does not.
Okay, so do I recognise the symbol at all with the Arcana check then, with
No.
a Nat 20 and plus 5 is 25 in total?
It's not. It is a magic symbol, and it seems to, but it's not a summoning symbol. It might be a symbol of transference.
I draw the symbol on a piece of his parchment, that we can reference it later on.
So were you going to rummage through his tent, or?
Yes. So we're going to then check through his tent.
Yeah.
See, especially his books, see what he was writing. See if it gives us any leads.
Okay, you rummage through his tent, but you don't find any parchment. And you don't find his journal.
So it's been stolen then.
Maybe.
Okay, so Carl, what were you doing?
I was looking at Dara because when she came across, she very much gave the impression that she'd never seen such horror, but I just wanted to check to see if that was the case.
Okay. And how would you like to do that?
I would very much like to use my perceptive skills.
Go ahead.
$16.
No, the innocence is real, or at least appears real to you.
Okay. Fair enough. Do it.
Was there anyone in the crowd that looked a bit shifty?
I think more and more people were shocked. But there's lots of kind of whispers of people have been pushed away and made to move on.
Can we organise some system where we can interview everyone and see what they know or what they saw?
What they saw.
Starting with the people who were nearest.
Well, they've all been ushered away by Vasha now, because with now that you've discovered the body, right? We're close to sunrise anyway, so she's now to get people to go away. She said, right, let's start packing up. Let's make an early start. We'll get your things back in order. So she's kind of getting that organised. You're certainly welcome to go and have a chat with people now.
Is there anything around the tent? Like some might have left something?
No.
Glass slipper or something?
Any weapons?
No. But we shall move to the map. If we can get the map to work, we shall move to the map. Right, so let's see if I can get this to work. Bum bum bum. Right. Bum 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 bum. Right, so you probably won't see anything just yet. Bam 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 bam.
I reckon it's a dodgy looking one with purple hair.
That doesn't narrow it down too much. We've both got purple hair.
Right, so what I'm doing is just putting that in place, and then we'll see if we can get you in.
Wow.
Okay, can everyone see that?
Black background.
Yeah, I can see a black background and the four of us and a Terry's chocolate orange.
Okay, let's wait for that to kick in first, and if we can.
There are a lot of stretches.
It might take a while to load through, so we'll just see how. Try to resist the urge of pressing refresh. And let me know when you start seeing something. In the meantime,
see anything, but I can hear voices telling me to kill.
Is that? Could I look at the ground to see if there are any like splatters of blood, which seem to be dripping directly away to the guilty party?
Footsteps.
No, there's no bloody footsteps. No.
Blood splatter.
No bloody footsteps.
Did anyone drop a wallet or something like that? I'll have a look around and see if someone dropped their wallet by accident as they were murdering.
Or the murder weapon, yeah. No.
Yeah, when we searched the tent, did we find the implement that they would have carved the symbol with? Was that anywhere around the local area?
No, you didn't find the murder weapon.
When we searched the tent, did we find the murderer?
That's the
just hiding behind a tent flap.
Under a sleeping bag.
I see you.
Under a sleeping bag.
I see you there.
Saw it.
Murderer?
No.
Oh.
So if you could see my gorgeous map that I prepared on Dungeon Fog, you would. Well, actually, let's just put it on for the. There we go. So the audience can see it, but you can't.
I can see it.
We can't. You're right. We can't.
Oh, Steve, you can see it.
Yeah. I can see it. As I've got the forest and the campsite and a fire. and
You're not
then the four
black.
of us. No.
No,
It's-
I can
it's
see
all
it
good
as
for
well.
me.
Just wait for it to come through. Okay, so this is basically the scene. So Billiam had set his tent just outside the main circle of tents.
Just to our
So
left.
he preferred his privacy. He preferred to be left alone to do his writing. So he's basically sitting, further afield from everyone else, from the main camp. Behind the tent is a few trees, but to the west and the southwest is the main camp, like the wagons, the bedrolls, the main campfires. You do notice, however, Calamity and Carnelian, that his campfire has been doused, and everyone else's campfires are still lit, just for heating, for majorities to sleep and stuff.
Maybe
That's
just so they couldn't see what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
What was it doused with?
It looks like water, as far as you can tell. It's been doused with a liquid,
Oh,
but
Am
not
I
blood.
still the only one who's seeing black?
Mike, try pressing refresh. If you press, but no one else.
Where's refresh? That one there. Okay.
No, I'm still seeing black.
oh, really? I can see the whole thing.
Oh, wow. Isn't that all right?
Luxury.
Right, so Kin and Calamity can both see the map, but Car cannot. Let's have a quick look.
No, I shall use my theatre of the mind.
Yep.
So there is a campfire and a few bedrolls just to our southwest, probably about 20 feet or so away. Looks like
Oh, I
that's
see.
the
There's
edge of
more,
my
huh?
screen.
I see a few more
Two
bedrolls.
giant
You see a giant?
tea plates with plates on them.
I'm seeing more now than I did last time.
Okay. Okay, so basically, people have started to go back to their tents and their stuff. Have been told by Vasha to start packing up, getting ready to move on. Maybe get an early
Who's
start.
Vasha?
Vasha was the wife of the guy in the barn.
Oh, the one you killed.
You burned.
That'll be the one, yeah. The one, and I made sure he was dead by
Bean.
using lightning.
The one
on
you
him.
beat to death and then electrocuted.
That's the one, yeah. So
Maybe-
Vasha's his wife.
Maybe she did it thinking it was you, but you got it wrong.
Wrong storyteller. Wrong storyteller.
Dara is still near you. She's standing there with Goran. And she comes over to you all. And it's like she's got control of her feelings again. She's back in, sort of got her composure back. And she stares Neville. She kind of looks up at you. And she looks all of you in the eye, but she looks up at Neville and says, whoever's done this, you need to bring them to justice.
Right, so that's we will do that if we can. We need to interview everyone, and we need to do that now so that we can get moving.
Yeah, and we need to know where people were. So before we start breaking camp and people moving
Destroying the
their
evidence.
belongings around, we need to investigate each area, because it looks like people have been camping out in their own little zones, I guess by family group or something. So we need to note that.
If Dara can have words with Vasha to tell her to hold off any move, we will start gathering everyone together.
Okay. So who would you like to go for first?
We need the names.
Interview Dara.
Well, we know Vasha.
What about Gore? Why don't we start with Goran?
Goran, yeah, Goran would be good.
So
Oh,
I have ink and parchment. I would like to roughly draw the layout of the camp, starting with Billiam's campfire as the centre, if you like, and then I'll draw the location of everybody else's campfires and bedrolls in relation to that point, and note down who slept where.
Okay.
So we'll do that. I'll just do that as we go around and interview everybody.
Okay.
If you could just also do it so it's all like in like 5 feet squares as well, that would help me enormously.
Yes.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So, Goran.
We've got Dara, we've got Gorim, we've got Wellham, who's a smithy, Volis, who's the
woman whose stuff was stolen.
we came across, Billiam, I don't think it was him.
Godric is Wellham's son.
Yeah.
Worst case of suicide I've ever seen.
Ippen Watson was the owner of the mill. We've got Powell and Segrin, Volis and Vasha. There was two Volises. There was a Volis there was a human and a female, and Volis and Elf.
I thought Segwin was dead already.
Have we got two Volises? Because we've got a Volis with VOLIS and a Volis VOLLACE.
Very common name. Very common name, Volis. Very common. There was about 3 Volises in our wood.
Yeah, very common.
You pick up a stone, you throw it, you hit a Volis. That's the old saying where we come from.
You couldn't move for him.
Can't move for Volises. So Goram. I don't think it'd be Dara.
Well, one has to go through everything.
Unless you can change into a werewolf or something.
How?
So who was sleeping at the campfire nearest to Billiam?
No. Shall we ask Billiam? No, hang on. No, we can't do that.
He's dead.
Well, have we been successful in organising where people were sleeping? Dungeon Master. Hello, can you hear us? Earth calling Dungeon Master.
So, who would you like to interview first?
I would like to walk 20 feet southwest from Billiam's campfire and interview the people that are currently clearing that area.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll shift you kind of over there, and
I've still got no colour, but I've got those bits. So
okay. So now you can see these faces, kin, and the faces with no names are your red shirts. They're your non-speaking part extras.
Well, should we all go over there then? Because otherwise we're not going to be able to see anything.
Yeah. So what you need to do is speak to the people who have names.
Okay, so we'll start with Godric and Wellham then first, because
can you move us all over there, David?
I will. We're getting there. So Godric, yeah?
Yeah, Godric. I'm assuming Godric and Wellham will be together because they're father and son.
Okay, so you wander sort of southwest past the wagons, people are packing up their bedrolls, and you inquire this person that you're currently standing next to of the whereabouts of Godric. Okay.
Yeah.
And and they tell you that, oh yeah, well, the last time we saw Godric, he was, I think he was also on watch, and he's on watch. Let me put that.
We'll sync
here.
with you, David.
It's okay. You don't need the visuals completely. Anyway.
So Godric was on watch.
On his own.
I thought we were on watch.
Quite a few
I don't remember
watches.
seeing him.
It's a big camp. So there are various people on watch, but when you two or two of you have gone on watch, other people have also gone on watch.
All right.
Did he have
It's
a partner, Godric? Or was
How
he on
come
his
other
own?
people weren't doing the fighting then?
Because they're no good
They
at
can't. Yeah, they can't pick up weapons.
it. This is going to take a while if all four of us go to every person.
So I
Yeah,
can't
but it'll
actually...
take just as long if we do the other way as well. So we might as well
Yeah.
do one at a time, really, or one group at a time. There's only 25, is there?
Yeah, now there is, because I think we lost 4 or 5 people last
25
week.
less us 4. Is that including us 4?
There was 28 survivors and us 4.
All right, so 25, Dara and Gorim, so 23, assuming they are. And then out of that, half of them are going to be NPCs. So we could be up to, say, maybe 12.
Yeah, that's about right.
I'm going to wander over to Godric and say, what did you see?
I'll wander over too. I'll be looking at his face.
What did you see?
Hi, laddie. I saw nothing. I was on watch the whole time.
I saw nothing. I was on watch.
Can anyone verify that? Or was you on your... Did you have a partner when you was watching?
No, Willem has good intentions, but he likes to have a drink, so I let him. But it was me and Willem. It's just Willem's gone back.
And you saw nothing, and you heard nothing?
Nope.
Had you met Billim before?
Billim, yeah, he's a bit of a strange one, that laddie. He came past for the past 3 nights in a row now. He's kept asking me to write a book, or he wants to write a book about me, which I thought that was a strange request. I had no reason to share my story.
He does seem eager about story writing. Do you know anyone that would want to do him harm? Do you know anyone that he has maybe argued with?
Billim, no. As the only person I saw that laddie arguing with was probably himself.
Where do you come from originally?
Well, I've had to travel quite a lot. It's obviously I'm a dwarf, but
Oh, really?
dwarf. But I had to leave my family home because of shameful reasons. So I shave off my beard, and many years ago I met Willem, and he kindly took me in.
He likes a drink.
Willem, he does like a bit of a drink. He's got a bit of a problem with it, but he doesn't mean bad. He's got a few bottles of berry wine that he's kept. It's just he's just trying to eke out his way.
when he drinks, would he sleep the night through, or?
Generally, yeah, he what do they call it? They call it a functional drunk. He's never far from his wine, or he's got a little hip flask. He's never far from it.
Does he murder people when he's drunk?
I've
Yeah,
seen him get angry, but that's only in the smithy. He gets angry with the iron. Sometimes, but some of his best work is he's been done when he's completely off his rocker.
She's never clobbered anyone with an iron, just...
No. Well, he doesn't have it in him. He's got too much of a big heart.
So what do we think? So we go through all of them first before we investigate anyone or interrogate anyone who we think might be of interest. Because these two seem okay, I would say. Would we all agree?
Yeah, but
I just have one question. What who organised the watch and who woke you for your turn?
Well, Vasha, she's our kind of leader at the moment. She's the one who's organised everyone. She's organised the supplies and the foods and the breakfasts and the dinners, and she's been. I know Dara has got us together, but Vasha's the one who's going to get us to Baldurs Gate.
how long had you been on watch when it all kicked off?
I think Willem woke me up to do the shift. He likes to sit and talk for a few hours, so I think it was maybe 1, maybe 2. So I'd only been on for a couple of hours, and then Willem tells me a story, and then it's like he forgets, and he just trundles off for his drink.
And you saw nothing just before?
Saw nothing just before, no.
Can we try Vasha next then? She sounds like a lady that...
Yeah, I wouldn't step to the front there if I were you for this one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Vasha.
so
Yeah, go and chat to Vasha.
you want to talk to Vasha?
We'll go to Vasha. Find Vasha.
Next. Right, I'll move you across.
Can't see anything, so don't worry.
Yeah. Boop, boop, boo. And this one. And this one. Can you still see Calamity and Kin?
Yep.
I can.
Okay, good stuff. Right. Okay, so those are across. Let's bring that up for the audience. Here we go. Did that work? No, not quite.
I can see us 4, but I can't see anything else. Any other characters?
So Vasha is to the northwest of the camp. Vasha has set up the supply. So out of the main circle, northwest is Vasha. She's got the supplies tent. She cooks the party's meals and gets everyone organised from here, and then people can go back to their own camps or main campfire with their food and supplies.
So we start with the usual. What did you see anything? Did you hear anything? Do you know anything?
No, I haven't seen anyone this whole night.
Oh, what we could do. What do we need to do to check if we think they're lying in sight?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's finish. When we finish an interview, we can do an assisted insight. Whoever's got the best insight. We'll see if we think they're telling the truth. Does she know anything about Billiam?
Well, what would you like to know about him?
Did he have any enemies? Did he annoy more than just us?
I barely knew him. He never used to come down to the inn. He kept himself to himself. I'm surprised he actually made it this far.
Why do you say that?
He's a bit weak of the mind.
If you don't know him that well, why would you say that?
His journal?
I'm sorry, I can only talk to one of you at a time. If you want to.
If you didn't know him very well, why would you say that?
Look, you're both still talking at the same time. If you don't sort this out, I'm just going to go back. I've got stuff to do. There's lots to arrange. We've got to pack up.
Did you kill him?
No, of course I didn't kill him.
Oh, all right. Just thought I'd ask.
Why do you say he was weak of mind?
He was always bothering me with asking to do things and then saying he would put himself down and he'd say, hey, can he help? So yeah, lift that crate. Oh, I can't, I'm too weak. Okay, cook the food. Oh, I don't know how to cook. He was always putting himself down, offering to help, which is great, but then not doing anything. You think, I just don't have the time with everything that's going on. We're trying to get people organized, and you can see that she's clearly getting upset. But maybe I should have stopped to listen to him. Maybe I should have helped. But there's too much to do. I can't help everyone. At some point, you have to help yourself.
I'm sorry you've had to take on this burden. You are looking after a camp full of survivors, and not everybody is faring as well as you are or has suffered the personal loss you have. I was only asking after your observation. I had the same experience with Billiam. He was keen to help always, but yes, he did used to put himself down. It's interesting that you made that observation so quickly, though, if you didn't have much to do with him.
I think it's just the first impressions of someone.
Fair enough. Sorry, Calamity, you was going to ask a question.
Did he ever approach you about a journal, like asking about your stories? As your leader, did he ever want to write anything about you? Did he ever approach you about it?
I'm not anyone's leader. I'm just the one that's getting us somewhere. I think what Dara has done was amazing, but some of the rumors around camp is that she's divine in some kind of nature, but I don't believe in all that. If you want to live, if you want to survive, you fight. I suppose I was once like you lot, looking to stand up for what was right, looking to fight, to see adventure and find long lost treasures. Instead, I found a small inn outside a big city, and I met Segrin. That was all the treasure I needed. And now he's gone.
That was a very sad accident, but we managed to save you, which is the main, just bring you along, and now you are helping all these people. So
I will do what I can.
It's worked well in that way.
How did you know Volis from before all this happened? Did she work at the Fabled Fawn?
Volis? No. Volis I met at the caravan. I don't know who she is.
Then I've written the name down wrong.
She's not a local.
There was an elf lady in the inn with you.
That is her, isn't it? That's the one. Met at the smithies.
That
Yeah.
was Hastreen.
Astrine, right?
Oh. That the
Did
one
you know
that,
Hastrine
robbed or
from
something?
before, or was it she just a guest at the inn?
No, she was just a guest, just staying for a few days. She's a bit of a wanderer, that one.
What around the camp?
No, I mean, if you talk to her, I'm sure she'll tell you her story, but she's just elves live or have long lives, and she's trying to explore the world.
I have one more question. That obviously you've been doing a lot of the organisation around the camp, the food, people making camp and breaking camp. I also understand you've been organising the watches outside of what we've been doing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell us who was on watch when all of this happened? We know Godric was on watch towards the south. I'm assuming you've stationed people to east, west, and north as well.
It was
Who else was on watch at the same time?
Willem and Godric was on watch at the south. And it's not just the south. The idea is, for my adventuring days, we would have two sets. If we have a large camp like this, you'd have two sets of two. And then you'd, every half hour, 20 minutes or so, you can then not rotate, but just go on a look around. And if you walk kind of counterclockwise around the camp, you can generally cover a lot more ground that way. It's not perfect. We don't have enough people to cover every area of such a large camp, but we've done our best. I believe it. Who was on? Wasn't two of you supposed to be on watch?
Yeah, two of us were on watch, and apparently Wellham and
Willem and Godric.
Godric were meant to be on watch as well.
Yeah.
So it was only Godric, Wellham, and Calamity and Neville that were on at the same time. Then there was no other people supposed to be on watch.
No.
We actually didn't interview Wellham, didn't we? So are we done with that? Should we do a insight check? Who's got the best insight?
Oh, probably. What shows Calamity?
+3.
Oh, maybe it is yours then, Ken.
Really?
What do you got, Ken?
No, it's not me. It's +1. I'm saying it's definitely not me.
I'm +1 as well. So Calamity.
So it's probably me.
You're the wisest of us all.
So if Calamity does it and Carl, you assist her.
That's a 16. A 16.
You stand there and kind of listen to the questions being asked and the answers. And again, you can clearly see that she's upset. She's shaken by the whole thing. Part of her seems to be genuinely saddened that he's gone. But she's holding something back.
Ooh.
So, holding something back.
That's a question mark above that one.
Yep. So who's next?
Wellham.
Wellham.
He did walk off, didn't he? Mid watch for a drink, apparently. So it'd be good to see where he got to.
Even if he actually went on watch. Maybe he was drunk before. So can we go and find Wellham, please?
Probably.
Okay. So you start walking away from Vasha. Literally, you just take a few steps. And you hear shouting coming from the north. And it's a very crude Scottish accent that says, "Liar! Liar!"
Drink.
We'll head in that direction.
Okay.
assuming it's going to be Wellham.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to quickly adjust the map so the ones who can see,
Mm.
and the ones who can't see. Tough.
Mhm.
It's all a mystery.
I see Powell Vellum on the horizon.
There we go. So you see what looks to be a fist fight is happening. You see Powell and Wellham, literally Powell is sort of bending over into Wellham's face. They're both throwing fingers and insults at each other. And completely without warning, they're having a scuffle, and Wellham goes for a big punch. He jumps up, smacks Powell squarely in the jaw, and Powell wheels around, takes it, and Wellham looks like he's gonna hit him again.
I rush into the midst of them and try and separate.
Okay. So you break up the two.
So what's going on?
Well, it's nothing, laddie. It's just in my way.
Well, what was in your way? So what's set this all off?
You can smell the fumes coming off of him as well. You got him in a kind of pushing his head back, and he's swaying under that as well. Powell is kind of spitting blood into the grass behind. You can see a big welt coming up on his mouth now. He said, "Look, he's got the papers. Look, it's him."
What papers?
Oh,
Look.
Billions.
Have you seen these?
This is parchment.
So I indicate to the other three to grab.
Have you
Powell.
seen these before? Where'd you get these from?
And then it's Powell, and Powell is just he holds them up. And he's got some papers all rolled up into like a scroll, and he's just holding it up. It's like more so to kind of keep them away from the blood and the mess all down his top now. But it's just keeping them away from Wellham. So look, these are mine. It's nothing to do. These are mine. They're personal.
Would you allow one of us to verify that, to read them?
It's of a slightly personal nature.
I'm not saying we read it out loud to the group, but you understand everyone's suspicion after what's just happened.
But, yeah, but I didn't kill him. I didn't kill him with papers. Just
Billiam was a writer. You know, he had a journal, he had parchment. That's pretty much all that he brought with him. Before he would leave with us, we had to go and get him quills. That was all he lived for. Those papers are missing. So one of the biggest clues to finding his murderer is going to be locating those papers. I understand your reticence, but this would be an easy step. You know, it doesn't have to be one of us. It can be somebody you trust, Dara, Goran, Vasha as the camp leader, if that's what you want. But I would try and persuade you to see it from somebody else's point of view and make this as easy as possible and let someone read them. And I'll attempt to make a persuasion check, please.
go ahead.
18.
Okay. So as you're saying that to Powell, you notice his hand is starting to kind of drop, and you can see him giving in before you kind of finish what you're saying. You know you've kind of won him over, and He's kind of with his head down. He looks at you and he's looking at the scrolls and the papers, and he's like, but you don't understand. This is the last thing he wrote, and he wrote it for me. And you can see he's quite shaken up of Bellum's death, and he kind of hands you the papers, the parchments over. He keeps his head down, and you can see he's crying.
Did you see anything or hear anything, or do you know anyone who would want to hurt William?
No, I was fast asleep, and then the screams and the shouts, and I woke up. I thought it was under attack again, and I ran over, and then I saw him, and his eyes were open.
Did you make out any of the shouts?
His eyes were what? Sorry.
Actually, his eyes were. I didn't hear what the shouts were saying. I just heard the shouts, so I ran towards him. Everyone was running in the same direction, so I just started following. And when I got there, I saw him, and he was staring at me. I can't get the image out of my head.
You seem to know him quite well.
He was.
What do you know about him? We don't know much about anyone, truth be told.
I used to deliver his supplies. I worked at the mill with Eberron, and I used to take him to his supplies. He used to ask me to get him things. He used to ask me to get him the quills and the parchments from the shops, and he'd tell me stories. He never write them down, but he was very good at telling stories.
What kind of stories would he tell you?
All kinds. I mean, he knew so many different stories of adventures or things that were going on in the world, real things that he'd heard about. All these fantastical things. And I enjoyed that. I really did. I'm going to miss him. He was my friend.
Was he adventurous sort himself?
No.
In his younger days?
No. Billiam, no. He was, I don't know if he's probably born that way. I don't think, you can't imagine Billiam ever being young. Maybe he was always old at heart.
I'll have a look at the papers.
You unfurl the papers, and it seems to be some kind of love poem.
Okay, it's a few sheets long, I'll take it then, is
Yep.
it?
It's like 2 or 3 bits of paper.
Okay, and is it in Billiam's hand?
It's in, as you know, assuming you've seen his handwriting before.
I'll roll it back up and hand it back to Pal.
No, it's okay. Just kind of makes me sad now. You keep it.
You mind not asking who it was for?
I've only known her for the past week, but Hastrin, she's amazing.
Ooh.
But I didn't know that Wellham also had similar intentions.
Oh. Astrid the Harlot, possibly. Calamity, do your business.
Indeed.
Is it with advantage? With
Not insight, no.
help? No.
No. I've got a 12 this time.
Everything he's saying appears to be true. Yeah.
Okay.
So we tick him off, we think. And what about Wellham? We think him as well?
So.
He's still kind of standing under your hand. Seems to kind of like it. Keeps him standing up.
I'm trying to keep his head away from me as much.
You notice he's got his bottle of wine. It's half gone. There's no cork. He's lost the cork stopper. He's just kind of swaying and go down there, take a swig.
Right. So what we got? We got Hastrin, Ippon, and Volis. Anyone else?
Volis. I like the sound of her.
She's definitely an outsider, isn't she?
Yes.
Well, we couldn't move for Wallace isn't our word, could we?
Yeah. Let's go and let's have a little chat with her.
Dara and Goran as well. Dara and Goran.
Well, I think we've got to clear them, haven't we? Because can't see it's there doing anything. But as you say, maybe, yeah.
Whereabouts would we find Volis? Do you know? How? Whereabouts does she tend to set up her camp and lay her bedroll down?
Well, she's probably at the in the middle by the campfire.
We'll head off there then. To the centre.
Sorry, pal. This is used to deliver supplies and stuff like that. Who owned the magical store in town?
Oh, that was old Henry. He's I don't know if he's safe or not. He's not here.
He's deed. Who's pinging?
That's my washing machine.
Same theme tune as mine, I recognise that.
Yeah, you got a Samsung then as well, have you?
Yeah.
Samsung Wash Machines brings you Band of Badgers.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go find little Volis.
Volis? Right, let's move you all down.
And Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit.
Volis and Gromit.
Oh, that's better. It's black now.
Right, bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. Right. For those that can see, can you see?
Yep.
No.
Okay. Let's switch to that. And there you go. So this is the middle of the campfire. And you can see Volis sitting on the log. And just to the left, just to the west, is Dara and Gorin outside their tent.
I don't see nothing.
What's Volis doing as we approach?
Well, she seems to be looking around. She's packing up her backpack, but looking around to see if anyone needs help or something.
So we start as usual. Volis, can we have a few words with you?
Yeah.
We're trying to identify the killer or killers of Billum. Did you see or hear anything last night?
No. All I saw is I spoke to Vasha last night, but that was it. Didn't see anyone else really.
Where were you?
Well, last night I don't. I'm not on watch. So I was in my bedroll. Then I heard screams and started running over.
Can you just point whereabouts is your bedroll?
Just over there.
Did
You see,
talk
there's
to anyone?
3 bedrolls in a row. She's got the middle one.
Did you talk to anyone last night?
Well, I spoke to Vasha, but I always go over and ask if I can help. But we didn't talk for very long. Then I went to bed.
What was the conversation about?
Well, it's just I'm always asking to see if I can help to do more. I want to help people. As you helped me. So I'm just trying to return the favor. We're all here together. We all want to get to safety. I just want to make sure that we're okay.
Where did you come from? You're obviously not local, and you're travelling through. So where have you come from?
Well, I was traveling out of Elturel. I have my home there, and
Where were you going?
I was actually traveling to Baldurs Gate, but not like this.
And did you know Willem? You never met William before?
No.
You never. So you didn't see him on the last night then when he died?
No.
Insight check.
I'm sad that he's gone. He's one of us, but
Calamity, do it.
Insight check.
Oh, that's a 19 plus 3, 21.
okay. Yeah, you again. There seems to be a lot of truth. Something that she's hiding something.
So she's hiding something.
Hmm.
Intrigued about its conversation at night about helping. What could she possibly want to help with at the middle of the night?
And so those two bedrolls that you're in the middle of,
The three over there, yeah.
Yes. Is that Dara's and Goran's?
No. Dara and Goran, of course, they have the tent.
Whose are those bedrolls then? Who do you sleep in between?
Oh, red shirt 1 and red shirt 2.
All right, okay.
We know them well.
Yeah.
And
Every episode Star Trek.
Is that like a Federation Guardsman? Security officer. We need 3 security officers.
Security officer, Sir Red.
I've got a cold.
Mrs. Red Shirt.
I sense there's a bit of tension, maybe. Have you and Vasha argued? Is she sort of reluctant to let you help?
No, I think Vasha does her own thing, and she likes being in charge. I think she likes being busy. I just wanted to help. I've noticed her acting a bit erratic lately, and just maybe she's just a bit on edge. But I just thought I could help.
Erratic in what way?
I don't know. If you watch her, sometimes she'll do something. I mean, this log is probably the best seat in the house. If you watch people long enough, and sometimes she'll be doing something. She'll be stirring the porridge, and then she'll stop. And it's like she'll be daydreaming or thinking about something, and then she just starts up again. She gets things half done, I think she's got too many. Maybe she's trying to do too many things.
Have you talked much to Billum, or did you talk much to Billum?
Billum, no. No, I didn't really know him. He had no reason to, I guess, talk to me. I mean, I see him talking to Vasha, and I see Pal. Pal was always talking to Billiam. When we've been on the road now for 5-6 nights, and I think every night I used to see Pal go over to Billiam's tent.
Okay, what we're gonna a question mark on her. Shall we? Who next?
Quite like to search her bedroll.
Well, I think we need to go through them all first to see.
Let's go to Ippon.
So we've got Ippon and Hastreen.
Yeah. When we came across Powell and Wellham, Powell had the papers. Wellham was calling Powell a liar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Whilst they go, which one are you going to go to? Because I'll catch up to you. I just want to go and inspect his fire that died down and see if there's anything in the embers or anything.
Have you got any parchment on you?
I've got one sheet, yeah.
because we need someone. We need to make a copy of the sign on his chest.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll go with Carr, and I'll copy the symbol from Billiam's chest while Carr checks out the fire.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to Ippon
We'll
then.
question Ippon, then Astrine.
So I'll just kneel down in amongst the damp and cold ashes of the fire and see if I can have a little rummage around, see if there's anything untoward there.
Okay, if you can do an investigation check for me, please.
That I can. I confess I'm not the brightest cookie in the barrel, but who knows? Luck might be on my side. 17.
Okay, so what are you using?
I've just got a little knife out and I'm just flicking the embers aside, scraping away, see if there's anything more than wood inside there.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of using my hands occasionally. I've put out many a fire in my time.
So you dig around with the dagger and the knife, you turn bits over, and then you got your hand to have a good dig around. You don't find anything, but I will give you an inspiration point for thinking like that.
Thank you kindly. Putting my hand down into the ashes and feeling the warmth, could I kind of work out if it had been quashed for a long time, if it's stone cold the ground underneath, or is it a bit of residual heat there?
There's definitely a little bit of residual heat. Okay. It's embers, so they use some kind of water or liquid.
Yeah. Okay.
But it wasn't out completely, but certainly doused it to the point where it's just burning embers now.
Right. See now, Kim, this isn't just a killing for love or romance, is it? Because if it was a killing because he got on your nerves, or that he was just, a little bit too nosy, you won't go to the trouble of carving something into his chest, would you?
No, this is deliberate and for purpose. This is not just random, and this is, like you say, not just for revenge. This is something else entirely.
Because is it magic? You know about magic, don't you? I got a bit of magic, but you're like learned. You do stuff with books and that.
The symbol isn't magical in its own right. I did cast detect magic to try and find out, but the symbol is of a magical nature. Yes, it is of a magical nature. Some sort of transference. And the blood-curdling screams. It would have taken time to do this carving, and the blood-curdling screams only alerted the camp after he was then dead. So
maybe the screams of people who found him, though, not his own screams.
Maybe, yes. That we don't know that. You're right.
Well, so somebody killed him and carved something in his chest which would take something out of him, and he was just a mad old poet, wasn't he? He wasn't anything special that we know of. Well, maybe he was something special.
Well, Powell said he had plenty of stories and he knew history and stuff like that. But our experience of him, he was always intrigued by my stories every morning and wanted to know where I got them from and stuff like that. And he seemed quite suspicious, didn't he, when you told him that my stories came from my magic?
Yeah.
So did we really know him? I don't know. Did Powell really know him?
No, we didn't. Who would know him best? Do you think? It's best, I think, if we got to... Somebody's got to have killed him for a reason. So if we find out more about him, that might tell us more about why he was killed.
I think so. Yes. Yes.
Who knows him best, though?
Well, let's go and talk to Hastreen and Wellham and Ippon.
Right.
And then I
Okay.
think we need to talk to Dara and Goran.
Aye. Right you are, Kim. Right you are. I just dust off my hands. And we can make our way over to the others.
It's interesting that his journal's gone, though. I mean,
Yes.
we encouraged him to write the story of our journey to make him feel better about himself. So is this something to do with what he has observed and written down? Maybe he's seen something he shouldn't have done.
It certainly seems that way, doesn't it? That's why I looked in the fire to see if somebody had thrown it in there. If it's not been destroyed, or we don't know it hasn't been destroyed, but if it's been hidden somewhere, we find it, that'd be a big clue.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Maybe we should go back. Maybe we should go back and touch that big orb we found. Do you think that would help?
It might do.
Clear your sinuses.
Yeah.
I think we need to find Cal and Neville and finish talking to everybody.
Okay.
Oh, she's just over there. You can't miss her. There's not many of us with purple hair.
We wander over.
Okay, so you make your way back to the centre camp. Calamity and Neville are still there. What would you like to do now?
Find Ippon.
Okay, so Ippon is 10, 15 foot behind Vollis at one of the wagons. She's busy kind of loading up, putting stuff together, chatting away to the person who's next to her.
Red shirt number 3 then.
Yep.
Yeah. Brilliant, isn't it?
Does good morning.
I've got some shocking news, kids. I'm sorry about that. I've had some real shocking news just come up.
Go on.
My daughter's making me a cup of tea.
Wow.
You should make one for me as well.
Did you put COVID into it?
She's going to spit in it. I don't know. Sorry, so we're doing Ippon, literally.
Ippon, yeah. We're doing Ippon. Good morning. Does Pal work for you at the mill?
Pal? Yeah, certainly does.
And he says he knew Billiam quite well. He used to, deliver his supplies and stuff like that. Did you know Billiam well?
Yeah.
Your regular customer?
Yeah, he was local. He was literally practically next door. But Billiam, yeah, he always paid on time, always paid his bills, settled his bills. That's what we like.
Pal, did you have any enemies?
Not that I know of, no.
No one. You don't know anyone who want to harm him?
No, I mean, who is a mad old kook? Who'd want to bother him?
Did you see anything or hear anything last night?
Well, I know that Vasha's been on a. If you watch Vasha, I tell you what, I think Vasha's having a breakdown. Did you hear what happened to her husband, Segrin? Nasty stuff, that is. You know what?
Never. No.
I heard he was murdered twice.
It's been.
No, never.
Don't know how she's dealing with it. And, I wish her well, but don't mind me. I think we'd be better off if she wasn't in charge.
Really?
Maybe her being in charge of keeping her something to do so that she doesn't actually totally collapse.
Well, if she was better organised, she wouldn't have this. I mean, we should have more guards. We should have more supplies. I think, you know, the fact that when she turned up, she's rushed it.
Maybe when she turned up and nobody else had taken charge, she felt she didn't have a choice.
Mm.
It's good to sit around and talk, but it's better to do.
More PPE.
Well, I tell you what. You know what? It's I think Vasha, she's got so much stuff going on. You know, she had the inn, and I had the mill, and I think she liked being in that centre of attention. You know, she actually calls herself an adventurer, or would be an adventurer. I just think that there's lots of people that are like that, but I think it's Vasha. Vasha's not the one. We don't want Vasha.
Do you think she would harm Bellum?
No, I'm not saying any of that at all. It's just, why would I say that? You're putting words in my mouth. I mean, of course. But who are you? I mean, we haven't seen you. You were kind of strangers. Where did you come from? You came from out of nowhere. We're just all when this happened. How do I know it wasn't you who caused this?
Because I think our actions have spoken for us.
Well, yes, mainly, but maybe you're leading us into a trap. Who knows what kind of things you've got going on? I mean, Billiam was always talking himself. He'd like pull hair out of his own head. I mean, what's to say that he didn't do this to himself for some reason? Who knows?
Why would he do that? What do you know about Billiam?
Well, Billiam has always put himself down. He was never good at anything. And what do you think of Dara? I mean, we're taking orders from a 12-year-old. I mean, why is she hanging around with a dirty old man? And a goat? I mean, have you ever seen like a goat that just hangs around and eats everything? It even started eating my bloody wagon. Had to shoo him off the other day.
Do you think you'd be better off on your own?
Me? No. Why would I be on my own?
Well, I think it's probably a good idea.
You seem to have a lot of ideas. Yeah,
well,
you have a lot of
there's nothing wrong with having ideas.
There is if you keep them to yourself.
Are you trying to say that I'm a gossip?
Yes.
Well,
You do seem a bit negative.
Well,
what you're saying and trying to put everyone down.
Yeah, but just go away. Leave me alone. Get finished. Go away. And with that, she just turns off and turns around and goes back to her wagon.
It's not her. It's not her.
Oh, that's not a good one. That's an 8.
It's not her.
Couldn't read her that well. Her angle was too strong.
Yeah.
I don't think it's her. What do we think? No?
No.
I don't think it's her.
I think she's just a bitter...
You definitely get the impression she's stuck up. And
yeah.
Everybody seems to be pointing us towards Vasha. But I don't. I think...
I don't know. It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it is her because I think we're being pushed towards her on purpose.
Well, we got one like Hastream. Let's try Hastream. Let's see if she can clear anything for us.
Where's Hastream?
So we go and find Hastream.
okay, where would you like to go?
Hastream?
Wherever she is.
And where's that?
We
Part of you seen Hastream?
She the wanderer on. She wanders around.
We'll go back to Wellham, talk to Wellham, and then he'll probably know where Hastream is. We know where Wellham is, don't we? Because we encountered him arguing with Pal, so he can't be far from there.
So you find
his wine yet.
You find Wellham to the northwest of the camp near Vasha. He's helping pack up the breakfasts and the crates and things. Getting the supplies tent repacked. His bottle isn't with him. It looks like Vasha's been trying to get him to drink some coffee.
Hello, Willem. Hello, Vasha. Can you both simultaneously tell me something?
So as you approach, Calamity and Carnelian, you both see Vasha see you approach, and then she sort of hides something under some blankets and towels and things.
Here, did you see that?
I did. Cal, can you just engage her in conversation for a little while, and I'll try and sneak around the back and see what she's up to, see what she's hidden.
What are you
very
two
much.
whispering
Yeah, I'll
about?
do that.
What are you two whispering about?
Angel of love. Can you bring me a cup of
And what we saw.
So I'd like to kind of sneak behind while
Hang on.
Carmen's-
I've learnt this new skill.
Go on.
I can magic up this invisible hand that can pick things up.
Okay, well, hang on a minute. In that case, we can distract her, and you do that then.
Yeah, we have a little chat with her.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll wander off round the back of the wagon, out of eye shot, and I'll cast Mage Hand, and then wander back round and just sort of stand innocuously a bit further back from the group, as if I'm taking notes on a piece of paper, and I shall get my hand to wander over and grab that pile of blankets and move them.
Yeah, and we'll be engaging loudly in conversations, saying things like, Vasher, now then, we're looking to find out who the murderer is. Is it you by any chance, Vasher?
She pulls off her mask and says, "You pesky kids."
What do you, Vasher, do you know anything about Bellum? What do you know about him?
I've already told you what I know about William. Right,
Yeah,
if
but
you
what-
don't, look, we've got to get this all packed up. Who knows what's still on the road behind us?
Did you talk to Vollis last night?
Volis, well, just briefly, we're just like a quick chat. She's always asking to help, but she doesn't mean it.
How long ago was that before everybody started screaming, do you think?
I don't know. It was before midnight.
Okay, so
It was late
So
after
she
dinner.
went-
We'd already had dinner, I think, and
Okay. So she went back and left you, and there was still plenty of time after that, yeah?
yeah, she's look. We were packing up after dinner. We all had a late camp. She saw some of us washing the dishes. She came over to help when we finished.
No.
We don't need any help like that. You know, they're not. She doesn't mean it. She's, happy to help her, but I don't think her heart's really into it, even in this situation.
Right. So she came over, offered to help when it was too late, and then just wandered back off.
Pretty much, yeah.
And do you remember which way she headed off by any chance?
No, just back towards the main camp.
Okay.
Do you know where Hastreen is?
Astrid intends to. She takes a wander down by the road.
Okay.
Right.
Because we need to chat to her next.
Okay, go on then.
Looking desperately across at Kin. Like,
Yeah. Is he done
Is he
yet?
done?
Have I finished moving the bits?
Okay, so you've used your mage hand. It all comes back to you. Does it come through like just hover across right in front of Vasher's view?
No. What I'm going to do is move the stuff and then use the mage hand to put the whatever I've unveiled or uncovered or whatever behind the wagon. So all behind her, move the mage hand behind the wagon, place it on the floor so it will wander off in that direction and pick it up as we go.
Okay.
Does Wellham see the hand? Because that will stitch him up, wouldn't it? I'm seeing things.
It's ghosts and ghoulies.
Purple
No,
hair.
Wellham doesn't spot anything. Okay, so you go round to you succeed, round to the back of the wagon. Is it just you, Kin, or everyone?
All of us.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone.
So you go
I'm
round the
going
back
to
of
go
the
off to
wagon.
find Hastreen.
And is the mage hand still holding it, or is it on the floor?
No, mage hand is still holding it.
Okay. You find Billiam's journal.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Shock.
She was hiding something. I told you she was hiding something.
I
Right.
still think she's been set up.
What is Kin? You can read. I'm not big on reading. What does it? What Is it just about the journey? What's it look like?
I'll turn to the last 2 entries, and I will read it.
The last 2 entries are about the last 2 days of travel. You've had no encounters, but he seems to make a lot of flicking through a few of the pages. You realise that he kind of picks on someone and tells you their story, and he makes them out to be how much of a survivor they are and how much needed they are in terms of the camp. Some of the descriptions are for red shirts, for people you just don't know, and some of the descriptions are for you lot, and how he's kind of picked on you and then watched you from a distance and looking to describe you. However, the last entry was the day before yesterday.
Ken, what does it say about Vollis? What does he talk about Vollis?
So is there anything is there anything in there about any of the people that we've spoken about, like Pal, Hastreen, Vellum, Ippon, Vollis, or Vasha?
No, there's
entries for those people.
There's no kind of hidden insights, if you were. There's no secret origins to them. There's a lot about Gordrick in terms of he's quite intrigued by this dwarven shame and restoring his family's honor and stuff like that. He's made notes in the margin, and he keeps referring to Kin, the storyteller, and how he needs to improve his own stories.
Does it mention him, about him himself?
He doesn't write about himself, no.
So that last entry you say was the day before yesterday?
The day before last, yeah. The day before yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. So what does that say specifically? What does it cover?
Again, it's just the details on the road. There's nothing actually happened. You were encounter free. So, although you're on the run and it's a harrowing experience and you're trying to rush to get one, people are still sick and dying and everything else in the caravan. He presents it in a very heroic tale of survival.
So you didn't put anything in for yesterday?
Are there any pages missing? Like torn out pages?
You don't find any torn out pages, no.
Very odd that he didn't, because he's always writing in it, so it's almost as maybe it went missing before that.
Mm-hmm.
Goy wrote it on separate paper.
Toilet paper. It's very rare still.
Oh, I think I'm losing connection, or
breaking up.
Paul's losing connection. Say that again, Car.
Didn't quite get that.
Sorry, I said toilet paper.
Weird then.
Toilet paper. Yeah. No.
Let's go find Hastreen.
Well, should we confront Vasha with this now?
I think we should talk to Hastreen first.
Okay.
And I'll see your reaction.
I'd just like to make sure we've got everyone down, and then we'll take it. Well, then we can either go and interview more, do a second interview, because at the moment it is literally down between Vasha and Vollis. But maybe we don't know what Hastreen is. Maybe it was something to do with her as well. So let's see what she comes up with. So can we find her? We go out onto the road.
Yep. So you head south, and you find the road. I'll just move the camera. Dun, dun, dun,
Hey,
for
maybe
those
she's
that can
left
see.
it. Maybe she's gone.
And then let's put the bum bum bum. Right, there we go. And let's put that one there.
That's a smashed wagon.
I can't see nothing.
So you find Hastreen kind of walking along the road, quite wistfully.
We obviously call her over.
Mm-hmm.
We say, We're trying to get to the bottom of what happened. Can you tell us, did you see anything last night? Did you hear anything last night?
I mean, not really. I mean, you mean with Billiam? I'm
Yes.
yeah, I'm assuming. No, I mean, I do. I meditate a lot, so I meditate and then I go for walks. And I did see. No, actually, that's right. Yeah, I did see just before final light. I saw Billiam, walking and talking with Vasher, and I waved and they waved back, and that was it. I left them to it. I didn't really think much of it at the time.
Have you seen Willem talk to anyone else?
Billiam, yeah, I mean, he was always talking to Eberron and Volis, so
He was always talking to
yeah.
Volis.
Yeah, I've seen Volis talking to Billiam, and likewise, I think there's always a bit of a. I think he liked characters. He didn't really say anything to me, but he was I think he was lonely.
Did you know Willem?
No, I'm not from around these parts, so no.
Where have you come from?
Well, I've come from a bit of the Feywild. If you know what that is, it's not exactly from around here.
Yes, we know, or I know of the Feywild.
So you could say I'm literally not from around here.
And where are you going?
Wherever it takes me. As you can see, I follow the road, and the road takes me to new places and new people. I always enjoy finding new places and new people. It's kind of what life is all about.
But you definitely have seen Willem talking to Volis.
Willem talking to Volis, yeah.
You see Volis at all last night?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm not. We all see each other at dinner and at supper and breakfast, and we're not in the same wagons, so no, I don't really have any reason to talk to Volis. I mean, everyone makes pleasantries, and we share what supplies we have. I don't really have anything. I have everything I did own, I guess, burnt down back at the inn. I only had what was left in my pockets, which isn't much.
How long had you been at the inn before the accident?
Just a few days. I think 3 days. I think Vasher, she clearly, like anyone would, she clearly misses her husband Segrin, and it's sad what happened to him.
Calamity?
Roll. Oh, 15 plus 3, 18.
Yeah, you believe everything she says is true.
Cool.
So Volis was talking to Billiam, so there's a gap there, isn't there? Because she said she didn't. Yeah.
She's lying.
So we need to definitely talk to Vasher again and Volis again.
So we think it's down to Vasher and Volis.
I think Vasher might have been given.
Well, do we?
Because if it had gone missing before he died, I thought he would be like shouting about it and asking where it had gone.
Definitely love that journal.
Or it could have been stashed on her and she found it and didn't want to say so.
So, Carl, you're thinking that Billiam gave Vasher the journal?
Possibly. I think that I don't think she did it though. That's
I don't think Billiam would give his journal to anyone. So what do we do? Are we going to talk to them individually or talk to them together?
You see, if it were me and I had just murdered someone and taken their journal, I'd read it and then get rid of it as quick as possible. I'd burn it.
Maybe she has my time though.
No.
She's quite busy.
Yeah, but I think that would be my most pressing thing. I wouldn't be sorting out cards, would I? I don't know. It just seems very convenient.
So we've either got to say to Vasha and ask her about the journal.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
Do we
let's
do
go.
that separate from Volis so that if it is Volis, we don't give ourselves away?
Yeah, I think you're right, Ken. I think we should confront her straight away.
Yeah, I think so too. Get to the bottom of it.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's go.
Catch her by surprise.
Go back to Vasha.
Go back to Vasha, yeah?
But
Yeah.
make sure we do it so that Volis isn't in earshot or sight.
Okay. I'm just going to move everyone up. Bum, bum, bum.
You don't need to.
For two of you, I do.
I wonder why we haven't getting it. It's weird, isn't it?
Because they'll close the window.
You closed the window, did you?
Not seeing anything.
Right.
I get the props, but I don't see any. I get a few props, but I don't see any of the other characters, and I don't get any background.
There we go. Okay, so you're all back to Vasha's and still trying to pack up.
She's not having a good day, is she?
Let's get in the back of the wagon. Then we're out of earshot and eyeshot.
Excuse me.
We need a quick chat with you, please, Vasha.
But privately.
Well, no one else is around, so you can talk now. In fact, if you want to talk, you can pack.
This is serious, Vasha.
But I'll pack as well.
I want you to sit still on the edge of this caravan for a second.
Oh, she sits down on one of the crates. Go on.
We saw you trying to hide something when we approached before, when Wellham was here. I took it without you knowing. It's
I
William's
expected it was
journal.
one of you.
Why did you have it?
It's a bit tricky to explain, but I found William's journal in my pack after he was found dead. I doubt you'd believe me.
Is that why you didn't say it?
Calamity, do you believe her?
Oh, yeah. Oh, 13.
You're not sure.
Oh.
Shall we try? Someone else try?
Wait, how do you...
Anything else I could try?
I'll give it a go. 18.
Oh.
She's telling the truth.
Oh.
I let everyone know she's telling the truth.
I thought she would be.
We know. So
Hastreen said that she saw you speaking with William last night. What were you discussing?
I think we were just... That was when he was asking for a beer. That was just when he was asking for cookies. Thank you, delivery person. That was when Billiam was coming over asking if there was more he could do, but then I just said I told him very frustratedly, what am I going to do? I have no space for this now. I told him very frustratingly to just go. Stop asking and stop bothering me and us when we're trying to make dinner and wash up. And he always seems to offer his help at the wrong moment, and then tells himself off. Do you think I want to do the dishes? I do it so it gets done.
Well, we thank you for your support and help. We now need to have a little chat amongst ourselves.
Do you have any idea why somebody would plant the journal in your bag? Who, we've asked you what enemies Billiam may have had. What enemies
you?
Yeah, could be setting her up.
No, I think I never used to find it hard to trust people, but without Segrin here, the easiest thing to do is just to help people. After dinner last night, I cleaned up, I packed up, I checked the stocks for the rations for tomorrow, and by the time I got back to my tent, I noticed the tent flap was open. At the time, I probably just thought that someone had come looking for me. Didn't think anything about it. And then earlier, when we found Billiam, I came back, got people organised, time to move on. I thought, whatever's been following us, maybe it's back. Best thing we can do is get on the road, keep moving. Of course, we take Billiam, we take him with us, but I think the best thing to do is just to keep moving. But the sad thing is if you read through his journal, it's probably the best thing he's ever written. But there's nothing on the day he died.
So you read it then?
Yeah, I read some of it.
I can't remember. Did we have a proper look at it to see what had done the gouging and the cutting? Did we have a proper look at the symbol? Could we be able to work out what kind of a weapon did it?
It was a knife.
You think it's a symbol?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think someone just stabbed him?
No, it was purposeful. It's a magical symbol of transference.
Do you know anybody who might recognise such symbols?
Well, that's a good idea, Carl.
No. Billiam, maybe, because of the best thing about him was the amount of information he could, he has tons of stories and information in his head. You ask him what name of a flower was, he doesn't just say rose, he tells you what the actual name of the flower is, and the name of the stars and the world.
He's a bit beyond asking now, I'm afraid.
Yes, did you draw the symbol?
I did, yes.
Can I look at it again and do an Arcana check?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
16.
No.
Nothing means nothing.
No.
Okay. So, I think, should we talk to Dara before we act? Or what? See what she recommends?
Yes.
Or we go back to Vollis and ask her what her and Billiam talked about last night.
I don't think we want to
rattle her cage just yet.
I think we want to get her in chains before. I have got shackles.
There's a story there, Neville.
Just something when you carry around there again.
I don't think she'll be too much trouble for the
and a gag
and really.
big rubber gag. And it's actually like a mask that goes like a bow.
Ever floats your boat. Yes. I'd be intrigued to see about this symbol if anybody actually recognised it, because we don't know what it is. Who?
We
Would
don't
Dara
know.
know? Well, Dara doesn't know.
Yeah, we could ask Dara.
Gorham might know. He's been around a bit.
Now we've got it drawn and she doesn't actually have to look at the body. So let's go and see, let's go and find Dara and Gorham.
Yeah. Dara and Gorham, they're normally together anyway, aren't they?
And the goat.
Yep.
I think the goat done it.
Talented.
So you start moving
demon
south
goat.
back towards the middle of the camp from Varsha's area, and you can see Dara's tent. She's busy, sort of, mostly all packed away now. Most of the camp is all packed away now at this point.
Good job we don't have much to pack away.
And Dara and Goran are busy doing that. Now behind them, Calamity and Carnelian, you spot that there's a figure running directly towards, behind Dara and Goran, running directly towards them at high speed is a figure. Can't quite make out who, but it's a figure.
I'll run directly at that figure.
Yeah, me too. We both run towards that.
That make me nuts. Right.
Why not?
So you kind of get halfway there. In the middle is Dara and Goran, and you're halfway to them, and the other figure is coming up quite fast. And then you realise the person is waving their hands and shouting out, "Dara, Dara!" And it's Gordrick, and he's panting and weaving, and you can hear him asking Dara if she's seen Wellham, but he's a bit out of breath.
Are we all there now?
Yeah, you're all there.
The last time we saw Wellham was with Vasha. They were packing one of the wagons.
I'm looking. Can I look around the camp? Can I see Wallace anywhere?
No. Most of the camp is packed up, so there's not exactly much obscuring your view. Bear in mind, there are still 23 people here. But you don't see Wallace.
How long would it take me to saddle up Binky?
Binky, it's a shame you didn't see the map. Binky has been grazing. They've tied up the horses by the trees on the far west. And you haven't been. You've been busy doing your investigation.
Okay, I think we better go and check how many horses are still left in case anybody's left.
I'm going to rush over and saddle up Binky.
Dara and Goran, can you please assemble everybody into the centre of camp so we can do a head count? We need to find out if anyone is missing.
Okay. Gordrick runs off. He's out screaming for Wellham. Starts running around the camp and he's asking the groups of people if anyone's seen him. He's out now, and you see him running into Powell. Powell's like, no. And then people start to get scared. They stop packing, and then they start looking around.
Okay, I'll walk around and start bringing everybody into the centre. We need to find out who's around. Please come into the centre. Stop packing. We need to find where Wellham is. We need to find where Wallace is. Please, be calm and assemble quietly so we can do a head count.
Have I saddled Binky yet?
Nope. You got to do the whole thing is off. So you got the under blanket, the saddle.
I'm not going to put the barding on. I'm just going
to. Okay.
I just put the bridle. Actually, I just put the bridle on, and I'll go bareback.
Has Wallace turned up yet with everybody else who's floating across?
So you all try and do like a head count and try and get the names and the faces. And because you've only just recently spoke to everyone, you don't see Wellham and you don't see Vollis.
I'm going to start to scout around.
And Neville, are you wearing your armor on your bareback horse?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to scout around to see.
So if I'm on, I'm going to start doing a big circle around.
Clockwise or anti-clockwise or clockwise?
I'm going to go west to east, so it'd be anti-clockwise.
Okay, west to east.
Assuming that they're going north, south, right? No, the other way around. Sorry, which way? Yeah. So the start on the way back towards Avernus.
Yeah.
No, so towards.
Oh, I might.
Baldurs Gate. So
Baldurs Gate is west.
Yes.
So you go
Yes,
that way.
West to east. West to east.
Yeah. Okay.
I could wild shape into an eagle again to fly around and see if I can spot him.
Okay.
I'm
Do that.
just ranging alongside through the woodland on foot, seeing if I could spot anything.
Give me a direction: north, south, east, or west.
I'm going west. Remember?
East.
Okay. And Kin, you're staying in the middle.
Yeah, sorry, I was just getting electricity.
Bless you.
Okay. So Kin, you're staying in the middle.
Yeah, just doing a head count and making sure that we've got as many people accounted for as possible.
Okay. Calamity, you're circling, but where do you want to start?
Mm-hmm.
Neville's gone west. Carl's gone east.
I'll do the opposite I might do north then.
Okay.
Cover that.
North's over the river, so south.
Oh, south then.
We've got on the maps, the river is south.
Oh,
Just
so
because that's
north.
where
We're north of the river, are we?
I've put you north of the river.
All right.
And the river going that way.
So yeah, wherever is not towards the river.
Okay.
See, I'm just flying around.
I always imagine this to be the south.
Okay. So, Calamity, from your viewpoint, do a perception check, please, with your eagle vision.
So that is a 17.
Okay. As you're flying kind of north, we'll say you're going clockwise, so north, east, south, west. You go north, and within a minute, not far out of camp, far out of camp, but north of Billiam's tent, you see a body on the floor, and you see a person that appears to be Vollis standing over the body.
Okay. It's a bit daring. I might actually fly down, wild shape back to myself and cast Entangle on her, so she's restrained.
Okay. So you do that. How close do you want to get, first of all?
Well, it's a 90-foot range, so I can kind of... Yeah, I could be 90 feet away. So, I might kind of, keep sort of out of sight just so she can't see me.
Okay.
So she's almost, surprised.
I will put you kind of there, and I'm going to put everyone who can see the screen. I'm just going to move your screens to put you in view. I will show that to the audience as well. As we have got bits and pieces going on. So, from where you are, You're slightly less than 90 foot away, but you can see Volis over the body of Willem. Roll for initiative, please.
Mhm.
If everybody rolls,
Ooh.
and we can put you into the line.
19.
Oh, goody. What's my plus?
15.
2 plus
Steve,
22.
Paul has 22.
19 for me.
Okay, so Mike and Steve, who has the highest dexterity?
I have +3 dexterity.
+1.
Okay, Steve goes first. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so Paul, you're up first, followed by Steve. Now, you don't know what's going on, so we're going to skip to Kin. Kin, you're in the middle of the campfire.
I'll continue counting names. My passive perception score is 11, so unless I saw, Calamity dive towards the floor, I won't also know what's going on at the moment necessarily.
Nope. And then Neville, as you're kind of moving now, you've gone west, you're now heading sort of north. You see in the sky Calamity's eagle form, and then suddenly kind of swoop down, back down to the ground. Not
dash in that direction.
okay. So the next round, you will reach her current location.
Okay.
So I'll put you there. And it's the baddies go.
Baddies?
Baddie. Okay, so you wanted to do your surprise attack, Calamity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you do that first.
Yep. I'll do a bit of chill touch.
Well, it was going to be entangle, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, entangle. Sorry, yeah, entangle. Then yeah. So I thought she was already entangled. But yeah, I'll cast entangle. But I got in there too quick. Yes, that's a strength saving throw of 13.
Strength saving throw of 13. And I got a 17. So you see the vines erupt up from under the ground. Because it's an area of effect, you also see Willem get wrapped up in the vines as well. He doesn't struggle. You don't see him move apart from when the vines are wrapped around him. Volis just pulls her arms and legs away from the vines, takes a step back, and curse those pesky kids. Right, then so it's her go. So that was before the round, the surprise attack.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's her go. And she will summon. She's going to do some magic.
Oh, it's definitely her then.
She's going to do some magic. You see, if I can find it. Bear with me while I get the prop. Here we go. Bung that in there. She summons. You see her doing some kind of incantation, and a fiery sword appears like 10, 15 foot away from her, and just seems to hover in the air. Now it's your go. So Calamity, that's your proper go. Yep.
I'd like to cast chill touch on her.
Okay.
Get my icy hand out.
Is she in range?
Yeah, it's 120 feet.
Okay.
That's 10 plus 5, so that's 15 to hit.
15 does hit. Go for it.
Good, and that's 1d8 of damage. Oh, 1 damage of note.
1 damage.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Start.
It's a start, and we're off. Here we
My
go.
ice handles are now icy too, after all.
But she looks around in sort of your direction, and now she spots you. And you can see her swearing.
Ice of death.
Okay, top of the round. Car, over to you.
I guess I can't see or hear anything, can I?
No, not yet.
Nope. So I will just continue basically exploring the area.
Okay. Well, let you do no, because no sound has really happened yet.
No.
There's no sounds of battle.
No.
Okay, Kitten, you're in the middle of the campfire.
Yeah. Would I be able to make a perception check against Calamity's spell casting?
Go for it, yeah. You can kind of see her north of the camp.
Okay, so I got a 15 on my perception check.
Yes. So you've seen, you didn't necessarily see Calamity dive down in eagle form, but you're just kind of looking around camp. Most of it's packed up, so you've got a few of the trees and stuff is in the way, but all the tents and stuff is gone. And you see Calamity at the north edge of the camp, kind of crouched down low and behind a tree, and obviously casting magic in some kind of direction. You also see Neville galloping up behind.
Okay, then I will do the same and move towards Calamity, please. My movement speed is 35.
Okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. That gets you there.
Okay, am I now able to see Volis and her flaming sword?
From there, yes.
Then I will take a pot shot at her with Ray of Frost, please, which has a range of 60 feet. So I can see all of the background, all of the furniture, and us. I can't see the monster tokens, which is weird.
Okay.
So I will take a pot shot at Volis with Ray of Frost, and I hit armor class 9.
Okay.
So that's a miss.
It's a miss. Right. Neville, you gallop up in time.
So, do I arrive there this turn?
Yeah, you do. On
Right.
horseback. Dum,
Right.
dum, dum. What would you like to do?
Well, that's all I can do. What can I do? Well, I'm not going to fire anything. But, I will cast. No. Shall I do that? I'll cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Right, she sees you, Volis sees you over in the distance, and Wellham is already sort of entangled as he's being sort of wrapped up. And she casts. You see her grab her dagger, and she puts it into her hand. She does a curse. Pesky kids. and pulls the blade down into her hand. And you see all the blood sort of dripping down. And that's her go for that one. And the spiritual weapon starts to move towards you.
How far away from us is it?
5, 10, 15, 20. It's 25 foot away from you. But it's heading in your direction. Okay. And Calamity, what would you like to do?
I'd like to shout for Cal to bring him in our direction. It's like, Cal. You're over here. So you can hear me. And I would like to get my sort of deathly ghost hand out again to see if it actually do more than 1 point of damage. So I'll do chill touch on her.
Yep.
Let's see if get my hand ready. Ooh, 17 plus 5 to hit.
It definitely hit.
20. Amazing. And 1d8. 3 points of damage.
3 points of damage.
Slowly but surely. Chiseling away.
Yep. Okay. Next round. Car, you're up. You can hear the noises, and you kind of look around, and north of your current location, you start to see the pew 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 pew.
Pew pew pew. The pew pew.
The fireworks of magic exploding around.
Cool. Well, in that case, what I'll do is I will take a deep breath, and you can see all the static kind of lifting my hair as I feel the wind beneath the worlds, and I then cast Zephyr Strike, and my movement jumps up to 70 feet this round. So I can sprint towards her incredibly quickly. And I'm going to try to basically hit her with my short sword.
Okay.
And because it's this first round, she's going to get an extra d8's worth of damage, force damage, because of the impact of the strike if it hits.
Okay, so you can reach her quite easily. You zoom all the way there, doing a bit of Quicksilver speed.
Thank you.
And it's almost like you appear, suddenly stop right next to her and take a swing.
Cool, thank you. And yes, it's just, it's my short sword, but then is an extra d8's worth of force damage on top of that. So to hit, it is, oh, lovely. So 17. That's 23 to hit.
That hits.
And that's 1d6 plus 4. So that's 8 points of slashing damage. And which one's and an additional 4 points of force damage.
Okay. Good.
Cool. Thank you.
Kin, you're up. You see Car just suddenly appear, standing next to Vollis.
Yeah, I'm not exactly there. I'm not going to block their way. I'm kind of like
We can't see where she is anyway, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Oh, have we seen her now? I see her.
It's weird. I can see roughly where the flaming sword is because I can track the brightness of the objects across the screen, but I can't see the token.
Yeah, I can see. I can actually see her, which is great.
Is this the sword in the tree then? Because it's bright.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That brightness is where the
it's
token
in
is
between.
because it's a lit object, but I can't see the token itself. Is Neville on Binky?
Yeah.
Right, so I won't do that then. I will cast Chromatic Orb at second level at her. That is a 25.
That definitely hits.
And it's electrical damage. And
Did she
I
roll
do
for her
11.
concentration
She will do in a minute, hopefully.
the last turn?
That's 22 points
No.
of damage in total.
22 points of damage, blimey.
Finish her off.
Yeah. Wow, okay, yeah, she felt that. That hurt.
A ball of electrical energy comes flying from my palms and straight into her.
Ooh. Okay. Didn't like that one.
So was it a concentration check to see if
I will
spiritual
do a
weapon
concentration check. Is there a failure, or is it just
12.
10 to 12? I got an 8.
Plus her constitution.
Yeah, it's not good. It's 9.
So she loses concentration.
Yeah. Bing.
That is what I wanted.
Hey.
There we go. Okay, Neville, you're up.
I'm going to charge it on Binky to 1 square down, 2 right.
There?
Yeah, 1 down, 2 right from Wallace.
Oh, so yeah.
1 down, 2 right.
1 down.
2 right.
And 2 that is 1 down,
Who's
2 right.
Not from where my Wallace is on my picture.
The other right.
Wallace is here.
Go diagonally, goes northeast 1 square, basically.
Should it be by the feet of the corpse?
Under the tree.
1 right. Go 1 right.
Now you're in the tree.
Oh, that's not for me.
He's not in the tree for me either. He's next to the tree.
Oh no, I can see him in the tree.
I see him in the tree and all.
No.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Well, Wallace is standing to the right of Carr in my one,
Yes.
above the
Yeah.
Above the body.
So basically, I'm going to
Above
jump
the
off,
hand, it's literally.
Binky, and then I'm going to grapple her.
Okay.
Yes, it's a good shout.
Go for it.
Interrogation.
So what is that? It's a strength check.
Yep. And I can contest.
Ooh. What's my strength? So that's 21.
Okay. I will contest. She's not that strong. No, she has 7.
So she is grappled. And I'll
She's grappled.
scream into her, stop or you will die now.
Okay.
Can't win.
Apart from it's her go. It's her go. So she grabs your arms as you've grabbed hers, and you feel magic going into you.
It's magic.
Magic. And can you roll? Make a melee spell. Make a melee spell attack against a creature you can reach on a hit. There we go.
So she's going to hit me.
Yeah. But then again, you're touching.
Yeah, but she's still going to hit me, isn't she?
Yeah. So.
And the idea is when I grapple her, I've got her arms, so she can't move her arms. But
Well, no, yeah, we're doing it. We're just going with it. So she's going to grab your hands, and you feel this dark pain going. Oh shit!
Doing shit.
Into your body.
Oh, shit.
How many? Jesus. 3, and then. Blimey. Right. Okay. So you feel you grapple her, you put her into like a bear hug, but she manages to reach, and she sends magic down through her arms and into yours, and you feel this draining and cold pain seeping into your bones, Take 22 points of necrotic damage, please.
Okay.
And then, bink and bonk. Behind Calamity.
Behind you.
Bink and bink.
Oh, is that within 10 feet of me? It is.
It is.
I get a special thing when something comes within 10 feet.
What's that? We can't see anything.
No. So behind
BBs.
Calamity, because her passive perception didn't pick up on it, a form appears out of the trees. One of those growling dogs from the previous episodes, one of the wretches.
Oh no.
And makes an bite attack. Oh, it's a 19.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, and that is a 1d8. 6 points of damage as it sinks its teeth into you. And then a second one appears, but it's got its eyesight set on Kin, not on you.
I've got to do my...
Can I cast my opportunity attack? If something steps within 10 feet of me, it gets 1d4 necrotic damage.
Go for it.
I keep my concentration, by the way, David.
Yep.
It's 1 point of damage to the dog that just attacked me.
So that is number 1, and that is number 2. So number 1, you did how much damage?
1.
1.
Is there
Okay.
2?
Not a lot, but
There's 2 of them, yeah.
Can you put them on like Vollis was on? We can see Vollis, but we couldn't see anything else.
I don't know. It's either working or not working. It works for some, it doesn't work for others. So it may be because the map is so big. I did the whole camp, plus the nearby road. There was like I did hints and tips on the map, but hey, it didn't work.
It's all lost.
It's all gone.
I can actually see it all now, which I'm really pleased about.
Okay, so Calamity, you're up.
right. I am going to bonus action Shillelagh and use my club on the dog thing that's just next to me. So I'm going to clobber it a bit.
Okay.
So that is. So that's +5. Right. So that's 16 +5 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
And 3 points of damage.
Okay. Okay, next round, top of the round. Car, what would you like to do?
I guess I haven't seen the action because I'm currently engaged with Vollis. So unless my dear sister was to scream for me again, I wouldn't be able to necessarily know. So I'm just going to very quickly, as a bonus action, cast Hunter's Mark on Vollis.
Yep.
So that she's going nowhere if she escapes. I'll find her.
Yep.
And then
He ain't escaping.
yeah. And then I'll just attack again with my short sword.
Okay. Bear in mind, Neville has basically got her in a bear hug.
I'll be good.
So you've got advantage.
Double damage.
Yeah. It shouldn't be a problem anyway, because I've just rolled a 13 plus 5, so that's 18.
Yeah, that hits.
And so it's... What is this? Double damage, you said? Well then. So it's 4, 8... How damaged is she looking? Because I want to see. I don't necessarily. Well, I want to incapacitate. I want to knock her out rather than kill her.
Yeah, knock her out. Exactly.
So don't hit her with the sharpie bit.
No, that's the thing. I'm going to
Flappy
do
bit.
like, yeah, I'm going to like crack her across the noggin with a hilt, with the hope that I knock her senseless. Okay, so that's going to be. Sorry, I can't find my. I was on spells. So it's +4. So 4, 8, 12, 16 points of
That's
bludgeoning
what
damage.
we'd like to see.
16 points
Yeah.
of bludgeoning. Okay. With one big thump to the head, crack to the skull. Neville, you feel her entire body just go limp as she goes unconscious.
Okay. I'll just look behind me to see, because I didn't see the I didn't see the spiritual weapon vanish, so I'm just going to check behind me to see if it has gone.
It has gone.
When I check to see behind me if it's gone, do I see my sister in the distance in threat?
Yes. So through the trees, you can see your sister fighting with one of those demon wretches.
Okay. Well, I'll sprint. I'm not double dashing because I've used my action, but I've not used my movement yet. So I use my standard 40 feet of movement to sprint towards my sister.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30,
Mhm.
35, 40.
Thank you.
40. Yeah, you want to stop there? That's
yeah.
halfway. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
There
That's
you go.
it.
Okay.
Smashing. Thank you.
Kin, you see just north of you these two dog wretches things burst out the tree line. One immediately goes for Calamity, and they seem to be fighting it out, and a second one makes a beeline for you and starts to run towards you.
Okay, I'm going to cast Dragon's Breath.
Okay.
Which is a bonus action.
Yep.
I would like to adjust my position, so I'm going to breathe a 15-foot cone of ice so that I can get both of them, please. So I'm probably going to, I can't see the tokens on the screen, so I'm probably going to have to step somewhere left-ish so that I capture the one that's attacking Calamity at the moment with the corner. So I don't want to get Calamity, I want to get just both of them with this 15-foot cone.
Okay. You'd have to take 2 steps to the left. That's 10 foot to the left.
Yep, that's fine.
To do it, and you'll get, there's a kind of a big bush in the way on your left, but at least the cone and the right hand part of the cone will engulf both of them rather than Calamity.
Yep, that's what I would like, please. So you get a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, so number 2, the first is a 7.
That's a fail.
I'm rolling a lot of 7s, and a 19. So number
that's
1
passed. Okay, so that's 1 fail and 1 pass.
Yep.
And the damage is 17 on 3d6.
Wow. Okay. Good hit.
And that's ice, please.
Okay. Yep.
I would then like to put a little bit of distance between me and the one that was coming in my direction. So I'd like to move the remainder of my speed back towards car, please. So I've got 25 feet of movement left. So I'll go 1 up to the right and then 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, please.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
That puts you there. Okay, Neville. After Car smacked her in the head, she's gone limp in your arms. The body of Wellham is still entangled just to the side of you, but you notice he's breathing.
I'm going to grab my shackles, which I told you I'd prepared, and I'm going to shackle her right arm to her left ankle.
Okay.
So can I do that in an action?
Yeah. You want to
And
kind of
then
hog tie her a little bit and stick her on the floor.
Yeah, and then my move, I'm going to rush back to Binky, which is 1 square to my southeast.
Mm-hmm.
Mount Binky.
Yep.
And rush over, and I don't know where the one that's attacking Calamity is, but stop about.
What's your movement, gallop speed, and then you're heading
120.
west, basically. So you can get there.
Oh yeah, and then dismount about 2 squares southeast from Calamity.
Yep.
Northeast, sorry.
Yep.
And then rush and stand next to Calamity, probably northwest,
Okay.
assuming that the thing's below me. Is that to the south, is it?
It is. Number 1 is directly below you.
That's my turn.
Okay. Okay. Baddies go. So Calamity is going to try and take another bite out of you. That's not good. That's 7. That's 10.
Okay.
That's a miss. No, that's 10 to hit. Is that?
Oh, to hit? No, it's a miss. It's a miss.
Right. Okay. And then.
Is it still? It's still within 10 feet. So I think if you start your turn within 10 feet of me, you have to make a. Oh, it's a con saving throw actually. I think of 13, and if not, I do 1d4 necrotic damage to you.
Okay. I got a natural 1.
So give me a little d4 out, and I also do 1 damage to you.
Okay. He's enjoying that. That's fine. The wretch number 2 has still got his eyes set on Kin. He's ignoring the big bad shiny knight that's come out the tree line on his horse in his heroic mode, and is going. Neville, you get an attack of opportunity against number 2.
Where is number 2?
It was behind number 1.
Oh. Lots. Yeah, so 19.
Okay, 19 hits.
And doing 13 points. And whilst we're there, let's give it a bit of a 13 and 10, 23 points.
23 in total.
13 slashing and 10 radiant.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
Is it dead yet?
It's well and truly dead. As you smash the sword through it, it practically its hind half practically explodes in divine light as it just shards.
Sorry, David. I've got to go. My little one's crying. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Leave your camera on though. Ah! No, run at the end.
What happens if he turns it off?
All the cameras go wonky.
We all change celebrity squares.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do next time is no, it's all gone. All right, I'll put me up there because that one's that one. There's half of my head. Steve's sitting in there. Neville's over there, and we'll hide that one. There we go. Right, we're stuck with this one. Sorry, audience, but you know, parent stuff happens too. So that one explodes. Is it going to disappear? It is. Right. So we have one remaining. Calamity, it's all down to you.
Number one.
Contestant number one.
Contestant number one. I'll bonus action Shillelagh again. I don't know if I have to, that's fine. And I will cooperate with my club. So that would be it. Gone. All right, 6 points of damage.
Okay. Good hit. Right, top of the round. It is Car's go. Car just seems to freeze
So
in
shocked.
the line of battle.
His sister's being attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And over to Kin. Kin, you see this other one that was chasing you just explodes into divine light as Neville smacked it in the bottom.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'd like to move back so I can do another icy cone. So, but I'll need to be 15 feet away so it just catches the creature and doesn't hit Neville.
Okay, go for it.
I can take it.
I've put you in position. He probably can.
It probably can.
Yeah. I definitely can't, I don't think.
That is 14 points of damage, and you need to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay, 14 damage does that, and a constitution.
Dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity.
Sorry, you should have made the saving throw first.
I should have done. It failed. It got a 4.
Okay, so it's 14 damage.
Yep. Boom. Yeah, they didn't like that. That seemed to take effect quite rapidly. Neville, after the success of killing the first wretch, you have
Well,
one
it'd be a
in
shame
front
not
of
to
you.
give it my last. Yeah, well, I just call it dead.
I'm assuming it is a natural 20.
Yes. Do I need a roll?
So how do you want to do it? How do you want to finish it off?
I was going to use I will use my smite. So let's just do it. So it's 7, so 12, and 7 plus 7 is 14. So 28 plus 5, 33 points of damage.
Boom. You shove your sword.
Just to make me feel better, can we say that my breath throws it and he shatters it into a million fragments?
Oh, I like it.
You can try it. So he shoves the is it a broadsword or is it just a long sword?
A long sword.
Shoves it through the spine of this creature, and he sees the frosting start to crack the skin as it explodes from inside, sending iced chunks of flesh everywhere in a brilliant bright white light. Combat is over, boys and girls.
That was an
Fine.
insane amount of damage done that round.
Well done.
Also, almost borderline excessive amount.
Yeah, it was like getting close to 60 damage that round, I think.
Let's go and see our mate Wellen and make sure he's safe.
Well, I don't think
is he alive?
Right, but
Weller was breathing, yes.
Oh, is he alive? Oh,
yeah, he's alive.
You saved him, yeah.
I just remember him being all flappy in the.
Let's find out why she took him, because we don't know yet why she took him.
No, so we'll I guess the first thing to do is give him any healing he might need.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will dash over. I'll do healing word, and that will be I'll do a second level healing word. So that's 2d4 plus 3. Plus d4.
So if we tie her hands up, she can't do any spells that have
6, 7, 8. One of them's got 8 points of healing.
Okay, he's fine. He wakes up. He's still entangled, but he's okay.
Okay, so you've already shackled her arm to her leg. So if we just tie her arms together behind her back,
She's unconscious.
But if we bring her
Can't manage
back
to knock her out cold.
and we tie her hands up behind her,
Yeah.
She can't do somatic part of the spells, can she?
No, she can't.
So I'll take this shackle back off her foot and put it onto her other wrist behind her back.
Yep.
So she can only do verbal.
Well, she's still unconscious, so
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we're going to wake her up though. So
Yep.
at some point. So I'll pick her up.
Should
and
I heal her to wake her up?
shove her over my shoulder, and we'll walk back to the camp.
Mm-hmm.
While
when you're rolling her over and you're putting the shackles on, Calamity, you notice that Volis has something around her neck.
Oh, can I go up to it and have a look? Maybe even take it off her.
Yep, it's some kind of amulet.
Oh, I'll pass it to Kin and be like, do you know what this is?
Can I have a look at it from an Arcana point of view? Does it look like some sort of symbol or magical device?
Yes, it
Does it look
is
like
certainly a magical device.
Does it look like what was carved into Willem?
No, different symbol.
Ah.
I will ritually cast Detect Magic, please. So I'll spend 10 minutes doing that.
We'll disarm her, whatever she's got.
Yeah. So in a slightly side note, me and Steve have been writing notes about how we do certain things. So in one of the discussions was the identify spell, and it being a bit kind of useless. That you only get so many slots, and then you have to rest. And sometimes you need the use of a magical item or identify a magical item before you actually ever get a chance to identify it. And that's if you remember to identify it.
Like our bloody rose.
Yes.
Yes, exactly like that.
So,
which we're never going to find out what it is.
No, because I'll keep forgetting about it.
What we're kind of thinking about is using detect magic, so you know it's a magical item, but also over a period of like a short rest, where a magic user can just study the item and become familiar with it, and then understand what it actually is. So rather than saying, you've got 4 items but 2 identify spells, and the ones you don't identify are actually the ones that you need to get through the door to get to the dragon's treasure. So
I thought identify worked for like detect magic, so it's an individual thing, is it?
We've done it in the past.
It's supposed to be an individual thing, yeah. Yeah, and you're supposed to use a 50 GP value pearl or whatever it is.
Yeah, and we don't do components, Mike, do we?
No, we bloody don't.
So
let's not go there. Let's not go there.
So the other thing is, so things like if it was a +1 sword, that's fine. But if it was a magic sword with different things attached to it, it can do different things, or it's sentient or whatever. The character can reveal that over time. They could fight a hellhound and realize it's actually doing double damage just because of the effect it's having on it, and then say, okay, yeah, it is a +1 sword and it does fire damage. There are certain things that we can do. So one of the things we're going to say in terms of this game going forwards is, yes, this amulet is magical, and as we wrap up, you'll be on your way back to Baldurs Gate, or on your way to Baldurs Gate, and I'll tell you what the item is. It just be a lot easier.
Can we find out what that bloody rose is?
If you I'm doing this as an example, but if you ask about it and talk about it, that's the point of the rest periods and everything else, is to talk about that amongst yourselves to discover what the items are. Right, so anyway, you take the amulet off, you hand it to Kin. Kin says, "Yo, yeah, that's magical." And then you take her back to camp. Everyone is gathered where Kin kind of left them. Vasher is getting people organised, and getting sort of some of the weapons out, because they heard the dogs, and assuming this was it. This was another fight.
It was.
So, yes, but this was was it going to be a big one? What do you want to do?
Well, obviously, get on the way back, get everyone going.
Well, first of all, I think we should stand Wellham up and have him testify as to who attacked him and what was going on in front of everybody. So it just doesn't look like we're going after Volis, and because we're not necessarily
find
out of the
weaknesses.
picture in terms of their point of view. We need to prove our own innocence to everybody else. Everybody's a suspect. So if we get Willem up to tell his side of the story in front of everybody while they're gathered, and then we can leave and get on the wagons, and then that's when we interrogate Vollis. So Willem, what happened out there? You seem to have been attacked. Please tell your side of the story.
Well, I was with Godric, and I saw we were packing things up, laddie, and I saw Vollis going off past William's tent, off into the woods, and I thought that was a bit odd, so I went to follow her, and she was doing some kind of magic in the woods. I don't know what she was doing, but she kept cutting her hands and muttering these strange words. And I just thought that she was, she was some kind of demon or something. And I went to attack her. Had my bottle, and I went for it, but she turned and subdued me. She put some kind of hold magic on me. I couldn't move, and then I thought I was a goner. The next thing I heard was a cry of an eagle, and then suddenly this magic was going off everywhere, and I was being wrapped up protectively by these vines, which I now know was Calamity. And Calamity, you saved my life, thank you. But it was her. She killed Billiam.
Okay, so now we just need to find out why. So should we finish breaking camp and get on the road and then interrogate her on the move?
I think that would be the best bet.
Good idea.
In case any more of those hounds are in. So what you lot do that, whilst that's happening, I'm going to properly bard up Binky and get saddle on there, get my lance, and then I'm going to do a scout out east, see if I can see any more.
So you pack up the caravan and you start once again, continue west. Goran is pretty adamant. It's we're probably one more hard day to get there. The rest of the day, so Kin, you examine the amulet, and you find it to be an amulet of proof against detection and location. I don't know if there we go. Boom.
Yep.
So that is in D&D Beyond, and these cards are done by Galforce 9. Thank you. They would look great on our table, but we're in isolation, so.
What about the rose? He's going to look at the rose as well.
I am, yeah.
And also, the mood about the camp in the various caravans is quite sullen. Everyone's kind of now worried. Everyone's remaining vigilant, but sticking together, but now worried. Well, who else? Who else is out for us? What's going on? If one of us was able to do that to us, how can one of our own turn against us? And by the end of the day, on the outskirts, you see Baldurs Gate. So you've made it. On the next session, we will reach the gate of Baldurs Gate. And you've now leveled up to level 5. Well done.
What about the interviewing Vollis?
Yeah, you can do that en route, and we can do that offline. You're not going to really know much about what goes on. She's very, very good at keeping her secrets, and she doesn't give you any reason as to why she did it.
There's obviously dark magic, so.
Find out next exciting episode of AVERNUS Rising.
Level up. That's what we like to hear.
So, did I find out what the crystal rose was?
It's magic.
We'll role play that out round the campfire with some more
Okay.
experimentation. Does anybody want this this amulet? It allows the wearer to hide from divination type magics. You cannot be targeted by such magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors. So if you want,
which one of us would want to be
mages
caught or be seen, or who would they be looking for out of all of us?
It's Car.
Yeah.
Car.
Mhm. I think it was either me or Car.
It feels like a Car.
I think so. Because he roams around a lot, doesn't he? So
He does. He does. He likes
gives that
to
extra layer of
appear
protection.
from the left flank at speed. So I'll keep this safe for him
Mhm.
until he snaps out of his
Stupid.
shock.
So, boys and girls, that was the last part of the introduction.
What? Oh my God.
So everything you've played so far was supposed to be 4 1-hour mini adventures to get you up to level 5. So
1 hour.
Yep, 4 1-hour
4
mini
hours.
adventures, 4 hours. You should have done all of that in 4 hours. It's taken
right.
you like 12 hours.
We're either very slow or they're very hopeful.
Yeah. So next session is going to be a little bit different. You are now level 5, and you will be arriving at Baldurs Gate. And then we will kick off with the rest of the story, where things start to get a little bit more interesting.
So that'll be session 2 then.
No, we're not doing it like that, but yes, it's one big story. So just obviously enjoy it along the way. I think if we were still playing our D&D days, that would have been the whole thing. We would have done in one session. Damn you, isolation! Damn you, 3 hours of D&D! We need more. So we'll be doing that. We'll be got bugs in here now. We'll be doing some of that next session, which I hope we'll see how it goes. It does say it's a 2 to 4 hour adventure. The next bit.
I think you have to double whatever they say.
Yeah, I double the hit points, so I might as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I always do maximum hit points. So on good guys and bad guys.
That's going to be my question, actually. So we're getting max hit points.
Yes, always max hit points. Yep.
We'll get 2 attacks now.
It all starts to get interesting at 5th level.
Fireball. Who gets a fireball?
And the story.
I don't.
The story is, you'll get to the safety of Baldur's Gate, which means the race for survival is now over. And then you'll see how else the story evolves. But
That sounds ominous.
It should be good, yeah. But yeah, this episode is it's not always my favourite type of episode, the whodunit. But it was interesting to see. It's more about how you work as a team, using the past notes of everything you've learnt so far, and then juggling that kind of information. So,
I found it harder to do in this sort of
yes,
separate
line. Yeah, it's much more of a collaborative feel round the table.
Definitely, I found that it's hard to kind of get inspired by what the people are saying and kind of act on it. You'd be like, oh.
But we've got to chop things up in the end, which is always good.
Yeah, there's always a fight at the end, and yeah, literally, you stop the person who was the cultist, who was a cult fanatic. So more power. They actually have magic.
Actually, surely the knee pads would have given it away.
Yeah, that's why I didn't show that one. It's like, hi, this is Wallace. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice knee pads. Are you a cultist, lady?
Yeah.
So you going way back to the first session, because she was the one that told us she'd had all her stuff stolen by the
Yeah.
cultists who hiding out in the old abandoned monastery.
She's
Mhm.
a double agent.
She was actually just one of them.
Yeah.
Can't say.
Yes.
You have to find out next episode. See, even our players are going to watch the next episode.
I have to admit, I did think it was Vasha for quite a while. Thought the power had gone to her head. She went a bit, I
Yes.
feel bad now.
I just thought it's all pointing too much at her to be.
I think Vasha is trying to feel, feel the
Useful.
void of losing her husband
Yeah, be
Yeah.
useful.
with being useful before she, what's going to happen to her? Now you get to Baldur's Gate, her
Absolutely.
job's done.
We have to find out if anyone has family in Baldur's Gate.
You will have
She
to
might
find
turn
out.
attention to
Yes.
kin.
What's Vasha's surname?
Don't know.
Oh,
Gate.
Vasha Gate.
But she'll probably know it.
That's a good question. What is Vasha's surname?
Find out next
Yeah.
episode.
I know what Ippin's second name is. I wrote that down. It's Ippin Watson.
Kind of. It's Waston.
Boston. All right.
Yeah, the S, swap the S and the T around.
But yeah, I didn't write down Vasha's surname or Segrin's.
Well, they're married.
Yeah. It's like-
We can always ask them. They might actually just tell us.
Yeah, you can, but you didn't. So-
We'll ask them again if it's important. If it's
Again,
not,
we've
we won't
trying
bother.
we're trying to do this where you get that little bit of it's down to you, so you're not constantly asking the DM how you're doing things. I found that more interesting as well because this is a big talky part for all of us. But next session, there's a lot less talky parts for me. It's down to you. So again, it's not just you. It's these survivors that you've got a bunch of refugees, and some of them are weaker than you. So what do you do in the next bit? It's going to be interesting to know. And again, the notes you've learned and added to today by doing your interrogations, you've learned even more about the characters because you had to. And then you'll take that forward on the next session.
Maybe we can sell them in the hall pits of Baldur's Gate.
You probably can. There's a couple. You probably Hastrin you can get in there.
So is it 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Oh.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh.
And well done, Joe Duffy. You've won the custom Eldritch Foundry Mini. I'll be in contact soon, and we'll just get your email address, and I will forward that on to Eldritch Foundry. It's going to cost you a $5 for postage, but you get a free custom mini. That's pretty good.
Druid.
Yeah, and he can paint, so it will be even better. So, was that okay, guys?
That was
Yeah.
excellent.
Really good. Really liked it.
Cool. Good. And we will see you again next time. Bye-bye.